This workbook, Sales by State, in our Chapter 1 files, contains 4 sheets with state names. Colorado is the current active one. As I click the Arizona sheet, notice that the layout is practically identical. The numbers are different. Cell A2 will be different. We're seeing the same layout, though. And this model is going to be repeated with some additional states eventually. What we'd like to have, though, is a summary sheet that tabulates the data from all these. And there are a couple of different approaches to this. Let's begin with this idea. Let's make a summary sheet that looks exactly like one of these. They all have the same layout, the same text in cells A4 down through A8, same headings across the top, and so on. One way to do this would be to copy the data from one of these sheets, put it onto sheet 1, but even better is simply to make a copy of the sheet. If you drag a sheet name with the control key, I'm about to do it here at the bottom, I'm going to drag the Utah sheet with the control key held down, drag this to the right, let go of the mouse, and we've got a duplicate. The 2 sheets are identical in every respect except for the name. I'll double-click that second sheet and change its name to Summary. Enter. And change cell A2 as well. And although we don't really need to get rid of these Utah numbers, just for the sake of clarity, these numbers right now are copies of the Utah sheet. Let's just get rid of these. And as we do this, our sheet's going to look a little strange because the formulas in columns F and G, and also in rows 7 and 8, are going to be dealing with empty cells as I press delete right here. We'll ignore that look. We don't care about that because it will change as soon as we put in the new formulas. Now, in every one of these sheets in cell B4, retail couches, we see the sales there. So in our formula here, and I'll show you 2 major ways to do this, we're going to be seeing that same address. Whenever you're writing formulas that get data from other sheets, it's best not to type the sheet name. It's just an opportunity for a typing mistake. And if you're not too familiar with this process, you would perhaps overlook the fact that sheet names are followed by an exclamation point, and sheet names that have spaces in them do require additional single quotes as well. So let's write this formula, and it will be relatively quick too. Equal, I'll click Colorado, press cell B4, put in a plus. Over to Arizona, click Arizona, click on cell B4 and put in a plus. And same thing with New Mexico, and a plus. And Utah, click cell B4, but no final plus. And you can see what's happening in the formula bar. Enter. I'll double click on here to remind you what the formula looks like. And you can imagine after putting in 2 more states, 3 more states, having 10 states, nothing terribly difficult, but somewhat cumbersome in creating a formula like this. But it does work. And by the way, do notice, because New Mexico has a space in it, there's single quotes around that. Now notice, and you probably remember as you saw me write this, I didn't type anything except the equal sign and the 3 pluses. So I clicked Colorado, then cell B4, put in the plus, Arizona, B4, and so on and so on and so on. So that works, and we could copy it into other cells. But let's do it in a more efficient way. And it's all based upon a technique that perhaps some of you are familiar with. If we had wanted to change those 4 sheets from Colorado to Utah, maybe we wanted to make a different font or insert a new row, we could have selected them together. How do you select multiple sheets? Click on the first sheet that you want to select, and then with the Shift key, click the last one. So just as a reminder, I've clicked the Colorado sheet, hold down Shift, click on Utah. Those 4 sheets are the same. If I simply make a short change, I'll click up in the top row there. That's a merge cell. I'll make it be italic. Just as a reminder, that's happened on all 4 sheets. But let's shift the focus back to summary here. We're going to write this formula differently, using that technique of selecting 4 sheets. Let's begin with AutoSum. Alt equal is a quick way to enter sum. The next step, click Colorado. With the Shift key, click Utah. We've got a formula being built up in the formula bar. What's missing is the reference to cell B4. We'll simply click that, and we're done. Same answer as before, a much shorter formula. And even if we had 10 states between Colorado and Utah, this would work with the same formula. In fact, if we did all 50 states, if they were alphabetized, we'd see Alabama, Wyoming. That's it. Enter. And we can copy this rightward and into these cells down here, and we're all set. 2 different ways of a 3D formula. This way, much more efficient for tabulating data from multiple sheets. This only works smoothly when you've got the same layout as we did in this case here. But you can imagine different variations on this. Maybe we've got 12 sheets with each one being a different month of the year and then a total at the end, or doing something like this on a quarterly basis, or as we saw here, on a geographical basis. A valuable way to collect data from multiple sheets.